Hey guys, it's Alix
and Kayla,
and we're married, not related, definitely codependent,
but in a cute way. And we are back.
We're back, honey.
Welcome, welcome. So I'm just going to cut straight to the chase because we have a lengthy outline here. I'm not going to say, how's it going? Would you rather? We're not playing any games.
We got a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to talk about. And I also just want to point out, it is October at the point in which this comes out. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. You're like nodding
know.
along, like, yeah, sure. I mean, you know, I have a history with domestic violence, and maybe we'll touch on that today, maybe another day. But I'm very aware of October. And that's why I wanted to bump this episode up to October because, trigger warning up top, it talks about domestic violence, abuse, sexual assault. So if any of those things are not helpful for you to listen to, maybe skip this one. We'll just say that right up top. Do you know who we're talking about today, honey?
I do know who we're talking about.
Who are we talking about?
And there's a lot of lore around this person.
A lot.
We're talking about Sedona Prince.
Okay, and what do you know about this person?
What I know about her is that she is a college basketball player who's been playing basketball for way too long at this point in college. Like,
she's in her 40s. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like, I don't even know. She's been in college for like 7 years or something. Like,
yeah.
How can you even play for that long?
Mm-hmm.
And I know she's dated some like famous TikTokers. She's really big on TikTok. I think she has like 2 million followers or something, more than 2 million followers.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard a little bit about some of the dramas and scandals that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a decent intro.
Mm-hmm.
I think also the other thing that always comes to mind, it's like, okay, she's a basketball player in college, so you kind of assume that she's tall. She's 6'7". That is so freaking tall.
It's huge.
And the reason that this is important is it has to do with some of the stories that we're going to tell that are not only stories that people have already shared themselves online, her ex-girlfriends have shared with their own mouths online. You can go and look it up for yourself. But there's also actually been news reports about these instances, police reports about these instances. So we're not necessarily speculating, and we want to say that all of this is still alleged. Nothing has ever been solved in court, and Sedona, as well as her legal team, have always denied all of these allegations. So also just want to point that out up top.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so like you said, she's been playing college basketball for a long time. 7 years, to be exact.
I was right. 7 years?
7 years.
I didn't even know you could play college basketball for that long, or any college sport. Like, I thought it was, you could like, they call it redshirting your freshman year.
Okay.
Have you heard about that?
Do you think I know what the fuck you're talking about?
But it basically means like you're on the team, but it allows you to play for an extra year. So you can play for 5 years total. So I don't know how she's been playing for 7 years.
Okay, this is the thing about this episode. It's not a sports podcast.
Okay.
So I don't know any of those. I even wrote on here, I'm like, oh, she was for the Texas Longhorns and then Oregon. I'm like, does anyone really care about that stuff? Maybe. She's
played at a bunch of colleges.
At 3 different colleges.
All big name basketball colleges.
I don't know anything about sports college that I know some things about college, I guess. I did go, but I don't know about like big sports teams and any of that. And I'm assuming our listeners, I'm just going to assume maybe they don't care about that stuff either. So anyways, I don't know how she was able to do it for 7 years, but she did. She has officially stopped doing college basketball because she did exhaust her is it NCAA or NCAA? It's
NCAA,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. So she exhausted that eligibility this year and was not drafted. And a big reason, at least that it's speculated that she wasn't drafted because, okay, again, this is not a sports podcast. So I know people will be like, you didn't get these facts right. All I'll say is that I know her stats are good. Okay, because this was something you said before. You're like, if she's 6'7",
I'm just saying, yeah. If you're 6'7",
and you haven't been
drafted to the WNBA, and you're playing for a good college basketball team, something is going on because there are not that many women who are that tall in the WNBA. So there's no reason why she shouldn't be in the WNBA if she's a good basketball player.
So she supposedly is a good basketball player, has good stats. She's had a few injuries, so that set her out for, I don't know if it was seasons at a time or like long periods of time. So the articles that I read said that it's speculated that she was not picked for the WNBA because of her age, because of how long she was in college, because of her history of injuries, and then also because of all of this that we're going to talk about today, which is her personal life.
The personal drama.
It's not just drama. It's like she's a liability. Yeah. There's so many allegations against her at this point, and it's like that's not good PR for whatever team takes you on, because as we all know, if you've watched the Dallas Cowboys cheerleader doc, this is not just a sports team. This is a brand. This is a full institution. So it's like people that they take on. And obviously, we're not talking about cheerleading, but it's the same for all sports. It's like you're joining kind of a company, and it's like you have to represent that company.
She's no Caitlin Clark. She's not an angel.
Yeah, she's no angel either, sweetheart. Who's that?
I don't know.
Jax Taylor. Come on.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, she is currently undrafted, and right now she's playing overseas for the Women's Lebanese League. So that's where
she's still playing. She went to play pro basketball.
But overseas, yeah. But she didn't get drafted into the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about kind of like how she even came on the scene. She started playing basketball in 2018, but she started growing into more of a kind of like a public figure beyond basketball via TikTok in 2021. So actually, I didn't know this about her because I only learned about her last year when Liv shared her story time, which we're going to get into, of course. But I thought it was really interesting. What she originally gained a huge following from was actually something really positive. So she was playing a tournament somewhere, and she had filmed the locker room of the men's and the women's and showed the difference. The men's locker room was like kitted out.
It always is.
And the women's was like really sad looking. And she, just like called out the institution and was like, this is super messed up. Her TikTok went mega viral. And so she really started by talking about gender equality in sports. Like that's what she rose to fame for, which is obviously super positive. We love that.
Yeah. All the men seem to get like the nicest gear, the coolest locker rooms. Like they just get everything and the women get nothing.
And not only that, the NCAA ended up changing the weight rooms because of it.
Wow.
And like there was actually progress made from this viral TikTok moment. And up until that point, she would post just kind of like a regular, college person using TikTok, some funny stuff, a big emphasis on like how tall she was, going through different doorways and basketball and everything. But from that point on, she really started focusing more on like gender equality in sports. So, I don't love giving flowers to this person, but we'll give them where they're due. That was a good start. And that's probably the only positive thing you'll hear about her from this point onward.
Oh, no. Okay.
Okay, so that was in 2021. That's when she really blew up. And then she started dating a girl named Riley. Do you know anything about this relationship?
I don't know anything about Riley.
Okay.
She's a TikToker?
Well, I mean, yeah, all of these people are young, so they're on TikTok. I don't know if she I sound so serious to say, do you identify as a TikToker? I don't know if she identifies.
I do not identify as a TikToker.
You have exactly 0 posts and 2 followers, me and this podcast page. So I don't know if she identifies as a TikToker, but she posts on TikTok, and they did start making couples content together. Mm-hmm. So, Riley is a super cute girl. Anyone in comparison to a 6'7" person, man or woman, is probably going to look pretty small. I don't know exactly how tall Riley was, but she was, probably my size, 5'3".
Yeah,
petite. Very petite. And so they did a lot of couples videos. Some of them were kind of funny that way, where it's, again, look at how tall she is and how short I am, and just kind of like silly, goofy, whatever. But also,
seems like her height like really boosts her ego on TikTok for whatever reason. She really focuses on it.
I mean, how can you not? This is something I will say, though, is like regardless of let's just assume that all of these allegations about her hadn't happened. And let's say someone is super tall or just has some sort of characteristic that makes them stand out that is unusual, and maybe even more so for your gender, then it is kind of this like, I'm going to take that back and make this.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Instead of like, she probably got teased for it.
I mean, the fact that it's like she's also a basketball player, it's like.
She's using it to her advantage.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm like, I mean, I get it. If I was 6'7", I'd be all over those doorways.
Would you? Honey? All over those doorways.
I'd be making TikToks about going through doorways left and right. I mean, I'm just saying there's much bigger fish to fry when it comes to kind of criticizing her behavior. So this is according to them that we sort of found out after their breakup. But when they were together, Riley had an emotional affair with somebody who Sedona had been worried about for a while. Sedona forgave her. They stayed together. But before that, Sedona had cheated twice on Riley, and Riley forgave her. So, I mean, we kind of talked about this in our Shannon Beveridge episode. And
they're super young, right?
Yeah,
they're like in their early
college.
20s. Yeah, college.
So, I mean, college for Sedona doesn't mean anything.
She's like 30.
But still, we talked about this in all of our other lore episodes, and I'm sure it will come up again, where it's like young people doing dumb shit. I mean,
we all did these types of things in college.
We all did these things, and I am so grateful that we are too old for that to be documented online.
Thank God.
You know?
Yes.
For you, I know you wouldn't have documented it, but the girls, the trail of broken hearts you left behind, honey.
I don't know about this, but honey no. I'm just really happy that we didn't have this level of social media back in 2009. It would have been bad.
Yeah. So they dated. They moved in together. They were together for, I don't know if it was a year and a half, somewhere around there, and made couples content. People liked them and everything. And guess what they did when they broke up?
Did they make a breakup video?
You know it.
They took after the Shannon Bevy of the world.
Shannon just paved the way for the rest of the queers to follow.
Now we all have to make breakup videos forever.
Again, I'm sure this will also be a common theme in all of our lore episodes, because while JoJo and her girlfriends didn't make them together, they made them separately. They go on the podcast tour of explaining their breakup and then making the long TikTok, all the series. So this is going to be a common theme. But they made a breakup video together. And
did it go viral?
I don't know if it went viral, but they both already had very large accounts. I don't know exactly how big Sedona's was at this time, but I know at her peak it was over 3 million.
Wow.
So while she's over 2 million now, she's actually lost at least a million followers. So probably back then she was in the millions. So I'm sure it got a lot of traction. And in the video, similar to Cami and Shannon, it was very, this is mutual, no hard feelings, just very PR, very amicable. And everyone's like, okay.
Do we believe it? Was it amicable? I don't think so.
I mean, now we know a lot more. So it seemed like, okay, this is sad. They're over, but they're also young. It's fine. And then almost immediately, then they start going into the social media battles. Posting on Snapchats, posting on Twitters, posting on the stories, talking about this person's toxic. No, this person's toxic. Starting to share different screenshots of
like
their
the Mormon wives. It's like Mormon wives before Mormon wives existed.
Yeah. Oh my God. I love
toxic
that show.
Battles. I love it.
And so just going on in all of the, and then they'll like delete it, but the internet's already screenshotted it and then sharing it, and then they're making their videos about it. So one of the things that Sedona said on her Snapchat was that she was saying that she spoiled her ex too much, and she spent so much money on her, and because she's so successful and this huge important public figure. I roll.
I mean, you play college basketball. You're not earning any money.
She makes a lot of money from brand deals. She was a full-on influencer at this point. Wow. I think that gave her a lot more fame than basketball. Okay, would be my guess. But so this was something that she kind of harped on a lot, and money is something that you'll see that she uses
as a control mechanism.
Yeah, big time.
Classic.
So classic. So she was saying like, I just spent so much money on her, and she mistreated me. Which is actually, now that I'm thinking about it, my abusive ex. Also, money was such a thing. Yeah. Where it was always this trigger of like, oh, I don't want to pay for this for you. Or like, well, I paid for that for you, so now you owe me this. And it is, like you said, a classic control tactic.
I hate when people hold money over your head after the fact.
Oh, it's so icky.
Like if your parents do that to you or something. But it's like even worse if it's like a person that you're in a relationship with.
I feel like it's almost worse when your parents do it, because it's like they should know better.
They should know better.
But yeah, it's a very, very bad toxic situation. So in this time, Sedona also came out and said that she had BPD, borderline personality disorder.
She said that she had
She said it about herself.
Okay.
What do you know about BPD?
Well, I don't know if I can like define it exactly,
right.
But I had a girlfriend who had BPD, and it was an extremely challenging relationship because of it, and resulted in like some domestic violence, me on the receiving end. And also I know these folks struggle with addiction, you know, a lot of different challenges, but I don't know if I can like define it perfectly.
Yeah, I don't have the definition written down here either, but same thing. I've never, to my knowledge, dated with anyone with BPD, but have experienced multiple people in my life who have it. And like any sort of mental illness, there's a huge spectrum, you know, so there's people who can function and be in healthy relationships and have the tools to manage it. But like you said, usually it overlaps with a lot of other issues, whether it's addiction, narcissism, pathological lying, you know, these other things come into play or can really heighten
emotional and physical abuse for sure.
Yeah. So she said that. She also accused Riley of domestic abuse. So Sedona accused Riley of domestic abuse, and Riley denied it. She's like, I cannot hurt you if I tried. Granted, I will say, you can hurt someone even if you are smaller than them, obviously.
For sure, yeah.
Riley also went on to say that there was a lot of love bombing, that she was really, you know, treated like she was special, and not just her, but also her whole family. And then she said once that Sedona kind of had her, then Sedona's true colors came out, and it made Riley feel sort of crazy and like she was stuck. So yeah, again, this is a common theme that you'll see come up almost right away after breaking up with Riley. She steps out with Liv. Sedona shows up. I don't know if the first time they were seen together was on a red carpet, like, or if it was something more subtle.
Did Riley ever accuse Sedona of anything?
We'll get to that. This actually happens right when her and Liv start dating.
Yeah. So then she feels compelled to say something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know that you know a little bit about Liv because did you ever listen to the story times that she did last summer?
Yeah.
Or did I just tell you?
You told me about it and then you made me listen to a 10-part series.
But that was last year, so immediately
I just remember she was like this tiny, cute girl.
That's your takeaway?
She's like teeny tiny and super cute.
Okay. Yes, those things are true. So they started dating in 2023. They just met at a bar through mutual friends and hit it off. So on the same day that Sedona posted Liv for the first time, Riley posted all of these messages between her and Sedona.
Oh.
Airing out the hardships of their relationship, and then also this really disturbing video of Sedona. I showed this to you last year. I don't know if you'll remember. She was like bloody. She had blood all over her face, and she was like in the bathroom, and she was having a sort of anxiety or panic attack, but you could tell by the look in her eyes, by her mannerisms, you either think, is she really messed up on something? Like something was not right.
Yeah. Or she's having like a manic episode or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Something was going on. And it wasn't totally clear what this video was about because she was the one who was bloody. You know, Riley didn't post a photo of her bloody and say, oh, she did this to me. And again, it immediately got taken down. But this video, you can still find it online if you want to search for it. So Sedona posted a response. At first, she waited a few days and then finally posted something saying, you know, how she's so sad that the beauty of their love had to be overshadowed by a few hard times. And like again,
she's on her PR press tour.
PR answer of just
okay.
Like, you know, I have nothing negative to say about this person. And we had this beautiful, loving relationship. And all relationships have hard times. And I hate that, you know, the whole of our relationship has to be overshadowed by these few hardships.
Okay.
So very manipulative. And, you know, there's obviously some truth in that, which is, I feel like, how manipulation works. There has to be some truth in it in order for you to kind of wonder, wait, is that true? You know, because yeah, all relationships have ups and downs, and
of course,
the whole of the relationship shouldn't be defined by singular moments. But I do think those kind of generalized rules can be overrode if we're talking about abuse. It's like you could have loving moments in a relationship, but if the relationship was abusive, then you can categorize that relationship as abusive instead of like, well, it was loving. But
what
and
did Riley
abusive.
say? I don't understand. So she released some text messages and there's some weird things in there, but
yeah. So she was releasing messages between them, and Sedona had claimed that Riley had harassed Sedona's family and friends after they broke up.
Okay.
She claimed that Riley was trying to convince Liv to break up with her. And she said that Riley got the internet to send a lot of hate to Liv. So she also posted this letter that Riley wrote to her after they broke up. And it seemed kind of like it was like a love letter, making it seem like she didn't want to break up. And so she's like, how could I have been so bad if you were like begging to get back together with me?
I love when abusers say that.
And so Riley responds and says she didn't harass anyone in the family. She only reached out to her parents once because Sedona was threatening to take her own life. And she was worried about her, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the responsible thing to do. She said she didn't reach out to Olivia. She didn't tell them to end it. And she said that she aired out all of their messages because Sedona wouldn't leave her alone and was antagonizing her.
Mm-hmm.
And this is obviously on the back end. Publicly, she's with Liv. Look at my new cute girlfriend. We're so happy. But on the back end was sending these messages. And I think that's what she was exposing, was like,
I see. Like, she's still being harassed by her.
I'm still being antagonized by this person.
They're already broken up and she's in a new relationship.
And then that was also when she had kind of showcased more of the love bombing and like, look at these dynamics. Look at the way that she's talking to me. Look at the, you know.
She probably felt like in this position where I think a lot of people feel is you start to feel crazy and like question yourself. And so you then want to go to the internet to prove like, no, this is what's happening in the relationship. This is how toxic it is. Look at the things that she was doing to me. And now like I'm still dealing with this and she's in a full on new relationship and she's still not leaving me alone.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if Riley feels this way. I can only go from my own experience, but you know how much I love evidence personally.
Right.
It's like
you're a lawyer.
It's a no. It's like a compulsion that I have because I was so used.
Believed.
Yeah, it's like I have this trauma of an abusive past and then that going to court, him being not guilty, but this feeling of like no one believes me. And in some ways,
even though there's all this evidence, there's no reason why he should be found not guilty.
So I don't know if that was part of it too, of like, no, this is, like you said, it makes you feel crazy because you do start questioning, even though this happened to you and your mind remembers and your body remembers. If it was physical with Riley, it's not 100% clear. It's like you have this memory on all of these levels, but you still need this black and white text saying like, sorry, I hit you last night. And I'm not saying that's what theirs said, but I'm saying in my situation where it was like in writing, and I still needed to convince myself it was true because I was so convinced I'm the problem. Like I'm crazy. Maybe I misremembered it. Maybe I was too drunk. Maybe I was too annoying, you know?
Yeah. Also, if you're in a relationship with somebody like this, you know how they can take things and spin it. Like, for example, the person that I was in a relationship with, once things did turn abusive, it was the last night of our relationship. And I remember like, she had come home drunk, super angry, really upset, and kind of like broke into the room the bedroom that I was in and like started to hit me, started to like sit on top of me. Yeah, attack me. I'm under the covers. I can't move. She's attacking me. And I literally had to like try to push her off of me and she fell off the bed and I just like left the house, grabbed the car keys and left and never came home. And I knew that she was going to tell everyone that I hit her, I hurt her. Mm-hmm. And so it was like the first thing is you kind of like feel like you have to defend yourself even though you're the victim.
Yeah.
And so I imagine that this girl is feeling that way.
Yeah, exactly. And even more, it's like and same with you, we only had it in such a small scale with our social group of maybe 20 people or, you know, however many people were in your kind of friend group at that time. But imagine that on a scale of hundreds of thousands of people weighing in,
millions,
and calling you a liar and all of the, you know, it's like, of course you're going to want to be heard and to prove yourself correct. So another thing that Riley said, she said that she felt like she was used as a TikTok prop for content because don't you laugh like I do that to you. I know exactly what you're thinking. Get out of here. You don't even want to be sitting here. This is just like an AI version of Alix. So, and she said that Sedona would get really mad if Riley didn't want to do brand deals together. And that's why it was kind of, when you said, is she a TikToker? And I was like, oh, I know this is almost like a trigger for her to even call herself a TikToker. So that's why I didn't know how to answer, because she was like, I didn't actually really have a huge interest in content. It naturally grew, you know, as a byproduct of being with Sedona, and Sedona was like really pressuring her. So this was also very different than Sedona being like, oh, she was kind of using me for attention and clout and money. And she's like, I don't actually want to be here at all. So Riley said that she has chronological proof leading up to that bloody video. That this note doesn't make sense. That is allegedly because, she was saying that bloody video happened because Riley told Sedona that she wanted to break up and also didn't want to stay friends with her after, like wanted full no contact. Okay. And she said that Sedona had a really intense panic attack. Maybe it was some other kind of, you know, I don't know if there were any substances involved or if it was like a manic episode or exactly what it was. And she hurt herself somehow. And that's why it was like that. And she had said, I want you to see me like this. So it was like very dark, very sad. It's very disturbing, you know. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this person is mentally ill, and that is really sad, you know, that is extremely super sad. And there's plenty of people who are mentally ill who don't hurt people, you know, so it's not an excuse. It could be part of the reason why, but it's not an excuse to behave that way.
And Riley reached out to Sedona's parents to let them know, like, that this was happening because, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Which I hope, you know, who knows what happened, but I hope, like, first of all, that is kindness to, like, tell her parents, and hopefully
because
they're helping her.
Loved her. You know, exactly. I think that was real. It's like you love and care about this person, and that's such a complicated feeling to have where you're like, I love this person, and also I love myself more, so I'm going to leave, and I'm going to protect myself. This is unhealthy. This is unsafe. So it's a really, and to be that young.
But also, I don't want this person to hurt themselves or more people.
Of course. And that's a lot to navigate at any age, but especially that young, you know? So yeah, it was messy online and got a little bit drama online. But for the most part, it's like, I think she actually handled it well by getting out, talking to the parents, kind of covering the bases. So at this point, she's with Liv. That's kind of like how her relationship with Liv starts, is really all of this resurgence of stuff with Riley. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people were warning Liv about Sedona. And of course, you cannot blame somebody for this. She ignored them, you know, whether she was already in love with her or what, even if it was just deep feelings, or you could think, well, that's not going to happen to me. Or maybe, you know, she didn't know better. She was younger. Maybe, who knows what Sedona's told her about Riley.
I'm sure she was like, yeah, like,
that girl's crazy.
I have so many millions of followers. Like, people just want to take me down, you know, like, they're just lies. I'm sure there was a lot of that happening.
That does happen as well. Liv had a larger following at this point. So I don't know if that would kind of work on her, that kind of asserting control. But that does come up a lot, where it's just like, oh, it's just because I'm so important and everyone wants a piece of the pie kind of thing. But I don't know. I just think it's important to say that, because once Liv comes out with her story, which we're going to get into in depth, that was the 10-part series, a lot of people were like, told ya, what'd you expect? You know?
So there's like no empathy or sympathy allowed for Liv?
There was a ton, an outpouring of also empathy and sympathy, but there was also a lot of victim blaming, where it's like, what did you expect? And yes, I know. Okay, our dog just farted and it smells really bad. Oh, honey.
Sorry.
She has an upset tummy.
Okay.
Oh God, it is really bad. Oh, baby. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's important, I think, to say that, because this idea comes up a lot in domestic violence specifically, where it's like you have to be the perfect victim in order to garner sympathy. And that is bullshit.
Otherwise, it's like, what did you do to make this situation happen?
It's very aligned with how short was your skirt with rape culture. You know, It's like you can't.
It doesn't matter what I say to you, what I do to you.
It doesn't matter.
You don't get to hit me.
I can have sex with your best friend right in front of you and force you to watch, and you cannot punch me in the face. Those two things don't go. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Obviously, don't do that because that's not cool. But you know what I mean? It's like people really want someone to be the perfect victim in order for them to feel bad for them.
Yeah.
And
otherwise, you're justified in your violence.
Exactly. It's like, well, everybody plays a part in it. No. That's just a no. So a lot of people were warning her, but she ignored it. And they kind of went the same route. Lots of cute, everyday couples content on both of their channels. I'm sure that Sedona was probably stoked because Liv does identify as a TikToker, okay? So she is an influencer. She was very into the content game. She's down to make
the content.
And I bet Sedona liked that. So
okay.
So what do you remember about Liv's story time? Just that she's cute and small? That's it?
I know they like went on a trip and something really bad happened.
Okay. So she called her story time, "Who the fuck did I take to Mexico?"
Okay.
And yes, it is a 10-part story time. And one thing that I'll say too is after Liv shared her story, a lot of people were pressuring Riley to tell hers. And she was kind of like, I tried. Because when Riley shared all of this stuff, the internet really came for her. Like, you're a liar. You're a clout chaser. It wasn't a lot of people believing her. People were pretty team Sedona when Riley did try to share. So she was like, I've already tried to share. I've already tried to do the right thing in that sense. And everybody just doubted me and came for me. And again, imagine that feeling on that scale. You already have a hard time believing yourself because you've been gaslit so intensely. And now you feel like no one believes you. Why would you want to do that again?
No, I get it.
But when Liv did come out with her story, a lot of people were like, oh, there's a lot of similarities here to what Riley was saying. And like, you kind of can't ignore it now. So I don't know if it was because Riley had said it first and there was a second person saying it, so now people believed it. I don't know if it's because Liv had more influence or likability or what it was, but this story went mega viral, like beyond TikTok. So not just, news people are reporting on it. Somebody made a contract for Sedona to be removed from the TCU team. 200,000 people signed it. This went...
Oh my God. 200,000 people asked to have her removed from the team?
Yes. So for a petition, somebody made a petition. So this went mega, mega viral. Not just like in the lesbian circuit of TikTok drama. This was huge. And this was confirmation of physical abuse that she documented and shared on TikTok. So it was 10 parts. Collectively, tens of millions of views. It's still there. You can search for it and watch it yourself, but I am going to give you the synopsis of all the things. So she starts by saying they were going to Mexico, to Tulum for Sedona's birthday because Sedona was saying that she didn't plan enough dates for her and she didn't feel super special and was like already had been kind of laying that trip on. So Liv was like, okay, I need to be a better girlfriend. I'm going to take you to Mexico. We're going to do this, amazing, give you the best birthday ever. She said...
Little couples getaway. Okay.
Yeah. And these are her words. She said that she started that morning that they got on their flight already scared because she's not good in the mornings. She meaning Sedona. So those were Liv's words saying, I'm scared because she's not good in the mornings. So these are already red flags. You're like, if you're feeling scared waking up because that's not just like, oh, they're kind of grumpy. It's like you were scared of them. Huge red flag. So they get on the flight. Or first she says, I tried to stay out of her way and not step on her toes the whole morning before the flight. Again, huge red flag.
She's already like adapting her behaviors to try not to like set off this person.
And I would say even at the time that she's telling the story, you can tell that she hasn't even processed that is
not normal to do.
Right. That's a red flag in and of itself. So she said that on the flight, Liv accidentally spilled some of her beer on Sedona's leg. And so Sedona punished her essentially and got up. They were sitting next to each other, went and moved into another seat for the rest of the flight, wouldn't sit next to her.
That's kind of an aggressive punishment.
Kind of.
I mean,
that's, you know, so
why?
then Liv just cried for the rest of the flight until she fell asleep. And then they get off the flight. She's like, okay, starting fresh. And also she's internalizing a lot of this of like, God, I'm such an idiot. I'm such a shitty girlfriend. Why did I do that? You know?
Yeah, she's beating herself up.
So she's like, okay, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be on my best behavior. I'm not going to mess anything up. So the first 2 nights she said are fine. On the third night or the third day, Sedona is upset that she's not in control of the plans because essentially she had asked Liv to plan it. And then she's like, I don't get to do anything. Why am I not in control of the plans? So Liv was like, okay, whatever you want to, it's your birthday. Why don't you? And she's like, I really want to go on an ATV. That's what Sedona wanted, was she wanted to go on an ATV. So they took the ATV out for the day, went around exploring and came back. And now it's nighttime. And Sedona's kind of like having a tantrum again. And Liv's like, what is going on? And she's like, I want to go out exploring. Like, this isn't fun. I don't just want to go to dinner.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, let's go back out on the ATV.
Liv's just trying to do anything to make her happy. She's like, please let me just get through this trip without there being some disaster.
And probably also feeling this pressure of, I want to make my girlfriend's birthday amazing. And if I'm failing at that, then let's make changes to make it better. So they left their phones in the hotel room. They took the ATV out, and you know, Mexico is certain parts of Mexico, it's very like resort culture. And so they took it out, and at first they were in the kind of strip area where all the hotels are. Sedona was driving. They're both on one. She goes past that strip into essentially just kind of like remote jungle. Past the shops, past everything. She's saying she wants to go is called the Arch. It's super dark. There's literally signs that say Jaguar Crossing. Okay. This is stressing me out just thinking about it. So Olivia is begging Sedona to turn the ATV around because she's like, let's just do it in the daytime, at least when we have our phones, because in case anything happens, you know, it's like so many reasons, just practical reasons.
She's just driving super fast to the jungle, just like very dangerous.
She's like, please stop. So Sedona won't answer. She keeps driving faster and faster. She drives as fast as she can and then shoves Liv off to the ground and leaves her on the side of the road.
I remember seeing pictures of Liv's, like the road rash that she had on her body from being shoved off the ATV at like very high speeds. It was so scary and so sad.
And do you want to know why she posted those videos of her road rash?
No.
Because when she posted this story time, people were commenting being like, if this is true, then why didn't we, because they all saw their content from Mexico. Why couldn't we see, you'd had no injuries. So
but
people
she had very serious injuries.
Again, it's like people are doubting her. So she's like, okay, cool. Let me explain myself. Let me prove it.
Yeah.
And all of these videos, again, are still there. You can go see for yourself. So she did. She showed all the injuries that she had. But that came from people not believing her still, which is inevitably going to happen.
Of course,
when
it's
you're
going to happen. I mean, you're posting this on the internet
right.
and like expecting people to believe you. Like, I understand why people's reaction is to not believe you. I get it. But like, when she did end up posting all of her injuries, like they were serious.
Super serious. So she's on the side of the road and she's like, I didn't know what to do. So I just started running because I was like running back towards, you know, the more populated area. And at some point, she doesn't know how long this is going on for. She sees headlights coming again. It's Sedona. She's turned around. She's coming back for her.
How scared do you think this girl is at this point? Like, is this person going to kill me and leave me in the jungle?
Exactly.
Like, what is
She's
about
terrified.
to happen?
Sedona comes back at such a high speed, she flips the ATV. Okay. So Olivia runs over to her to make sure she's okay. She's like, oh my God, are you okay? And Sedona shoves her to the ground and tells her to get the fuck off because it's her fault they're even in this situation. Like, this is all your fault. Get away from me. Look at what you did. So Olivia's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. She's apologizing. Okay. Olivia flips the ATV back over.
How did she even,
How
did she even do that?
I don't know. But it doesn't start. The ATV does not start. So they now are both injured and on the side of the road. ATV doesn't start in the jungle. So they are just kind of like, what do we do? Eventually, a car comes down the road. There's 10 guys in the back of the truck.
Great.
I know. Olivia does say, thank God they were good, nice people. So Olivia asks them if they'll tow them back to the hotel. So they don't have to get in the truck, but they can just they'll be on the ATV and they can tow them back, which was super smart because then, you know, if they weren't nice people, you know, it's like, I don't know, at least you have some control instead of being
scary to be towed
terrifying
the truck. Yeah.
So they get tied to the back of the truck. They're going 35 miles an hour and Sedona is steering. She's the one in control of the ATV. Oh my God.
She's letting this girl steer.
She's
she probably flipped it again.
It. She's yelling. Is
she drunk? Like, why is she acting like a terrorist?
They had been drinking, but I don't think she's wasted. I think she was having an episode. Right. So she's swerving. She's yelling, I'm breaking up with you. This is all your fault. You're holding me back. You're holding me back. Liv is begging her to stop swerving. Like, please, can we just talk about this when we get back to the hotel?
She's like ready to kill both of them.
Next thing she knows, Livia blacks out and she wakes up on the side of the road because she had flipped the ATV again. That's when the entire left side of her body gets super torn up. And the car stopped and everything when they saw this happen. But Sedona tells them, no, you guys can leave. We're fine. We're fine. So now they're stranded again. So they just roll the ATV into the jungle and start walking back. So as they're walking, then Sedona's skipping down the road going, yes, I'm single. Like, yay. You know, and she was saying, where's my short Latina baddie at? These are quotes from Liv's video. So eventually a taxi comes driving down the road and they get taken back to the hotel. Hotel security has to escort Sedona up to the room because she couldn't hold herself up. So this kind of implies, yeah, she was intoxicated. Like something is going on, you know? The next day is Sedona's birthday. So Liv wakes up, she's kissing her, like, okay, let's just pretend like yesterday didn't happen. I want to give you the best birthday ever.
At this point, she's probably like, please just like, I need to get through this so that I don't die because this person's going to kill me.
I don't even think she was there yet.
Oh my God.
She wasn't there yet. She does get there. As soon as she starts kissing her.
I've been there, by the way. I have been on horrible trips with like really toxic girlfriends and you're just like, I just need to get through this without anything else going wrong. Like, how do I be perfect and adjust everything that I can adjust for to make sure that they're happy and I'll do anything so that there's no craziness happening around us. I'll literally do anything. I remember thinking those thoughts of like, please just like, let me get through this weekend. Do you know what I mean? And it's so scary to be in that position.
And when you've known someone long enough and well enough, you know their triggers. So you know how to be that perfect counterpart. You know how to not set them off and to avoid the landmines of their temper.
Yeah.
You think that
or
you
like
do. You think
try
you
to
can
like control their drinking. Like just, if I like see they're getting too drunk, maybe give them some water. Like you're trying to like control the situation in a way where it's like you actually can't control them whatsoever.
Yeah. So Sedona shoves her away. She's like, we're broken up. Fuck you. I don't want to spend my birthday with you. So she's still in the mood. So Liv is like, okay, I'm going to try to just figure out the ATV that we left in the jungle because we still have to like pay for that and deal with that. So she goes, finds it, pays $800 for the damages. And when she comes back and also this whole time is obviously giving Sedona some alone time. And I'm assuming she's kind of doing this because it sounds like maybe that space, like that sounds like the pattern of like, okay, if I just go away for a little bit, then she'll cool down and get over it eventually. So when she comes back, she's also like, okay, I know I'm going to get a medical team to come up and help with Sedona's accident wounds because, you know, I want to like show that I'm caring for her and be nurturing and all of this stuff. When the medical team comes up and they look at both of them, they decide that Liv's are actually worse and she needs attention first. So you can imagine.
So now Sedona's even more upset.
She's pissed. She's like, wow, you would, you know, just that energy shift that just sucks the air out of the room.
Oh, I hate that feeling, you know, when it's like either you see the change in their eyes or the shift in the energy and all the air leaves the room and you're just like, internally you start panicking.
Especially when you're like, but I was doing everything right, you know, and you're trying to do the right. It's so discouraging.
Yeah.
Because you're like, now what? So Liv's version of trying to continue to do the right thing is she's like, okay, I'll take care of your wounds. And she was changing the bandages every hour, you know, was cleaning them every hour. I think it goes without saying Sedona does not reciprocate to Liv. Shocker. And she just keeps telling her how she's such a piece of shit and she doesn't love her and, you know, all this stuff. So Liv spends hours circling the hotel room thinking what she could do to make Sedona feel better because this is her birthday. So she's also feeling this pressure of like, I can't ruin this girl's birthday. And she had made reservations for dinner at 8:30, but Sedona doesn't wake up until 8 p.m. because she eventually passes out, doesn't wake up till 8 p.m. Liv is like, are you ready? Like, let's do it. Gets all dressed up. It's like, come on, baby.
Trying to like bring the energy, bring the excitement. You know, when it's like you don't want to go to dinner with somebody, but you're like, it's their birthday, so I have to like be excited, you know?
But she's also like all dressed up, got like looks great. And Sedona's like, fuck you, I'm spending my birthday alone. So Sedona leaves Liv in the hotel when Liv is fully ready. And Liv goes back to sleep for 2 hours because she's just like, what am I supposed to do? Then she gets a text from Sedona saying that she's getting a tattoo down the street and she should pull up, quotes. So Liv is like, I just wanted to see my girlfriend. So she goes. And Sedona says, I'm so sorry. This isn't text before. I'm so sorry. You've been amazing. I just really want my birthday to be manic. So those were her words. She keeps saying, I just want my birthday to be manic. And she also keeps saying, you're holding me back. Like, I don't want to just go to dinner. I want this wild night, essentially. So Liv shows these texts in her videos, screenshots of these texts as proof. Again, you want to prove, like, I'm not lying here. I know this person's going to say I'm lying. I'm not. Liv walks to the tattoo shop and there's 5 girls in there taking shots with Sedona. And she says 2 of the 5 girls Liv was not a fan of them because they were all over Sedona, like all, you know, like, oh, you're so sexy, like you're so hot, and just kind of like all over her. And then the other 3 girls, she said, super cool. She's actually still friends with them. And they sort of like had Liv's back in this whole situation. So Liv sort of gloms on to the group of 3 girls and gets their number to go to their villa later because that's what Sedona wanted to do. She wanted to go to their villa.
Okay.
So the girls leave, and as soon as the girls leave, Sedona goes cold immediately. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
You know that pattern of like, the charm is on, we're having fun, there's hot girls around. As soon as they're gone, she's like, ew, just cold again. So she's getting that emotional whiplash. The girls come back, pick them up, and I guess one of the kind of shady girls says to Sedona, like, oh, I'll sit on your lap because they have a small car. And Liv's like, no, you won't. I'll sit on her lap. That's my girlfriend. And so the tension is super high in the car. And as Sedona seriously, like pretty obviously doesn't want Liv to be on her. Like she like wanted the other girl to be on, you know what I mean?
Of course. Because now she gets to be like in player mode and like, look at all the girls that want me and I can have anyone I want. So you should really be like groveling at my feet. And
this is
she's doing this super intentionally, obviously.
For control. So Liv goes to the bathroom with one of the nice girls when they get to the villa. And in the bathroom, one of the nice girls says, what is your girlfriend on? And Liv was like, okay. If anything, it was kind of validating because she's like, okay, it's not just me that's seeing this. Because you also wonder that, like, is it? Because a lot of the times in abusive situations, they do only show it to you. You know, they know how to turn that charm on and off. So she's like, okay, it was actually, this is when she starts having that, like, am I going to die here kind of feeling. So the girl says that Liv can stay with them if she needs a place to stay.
That's nice.
Super nice. Because she can literally sense you are in danger. And so they have this whole bonding moment in the bathroom. When they finally go downstairs, what do you think they see in the pool?
Sedona's hooking up with some girl.
She's not hooking up with her, but she's topless. And she's holding the girl who wanted to sit on her lap, like pressed against, you know, chest to chest, pouring tequila in her mouth.
Okay.
So might as well be hooking up.
Might as well.
And she keeps being like, come here, sexy. Like, come here, you know, just very in it.
Gross.
So Liv tells her that she's leaving. This is really kind of her breaking point. Like, I don't deserve to watch this. And Sedona's like, if you leave, I'm going to fuck her tonight.
Go for it. Literally, who cares at this point? You are so crazy.
I know, but you know how that feels. Like,
I understand. I'd be devastated. But at this point, it's just like, enjoy. What?
I know, but I feel for her at this time because it's like, you know how that feels when you're like, that feels like the worst feeling.
I know.
No, I can't. That can't. You're mine. I don't know.
You're like flailing because she's now controlled and manipulated you to the point where you are so desperate to have love and affection from this person who is just an absolute
monster.
Abuser.
Yeah. So Liv tells the nice girl from the bathroom she's ready to leave. And the nice girl, that group of girls, screams at Sedona for Liv. And she was like, yes. I know. I was like, yes, that's so nice. So they get to the front of the villa. It sounds like this place is pretty big. And she realizes that she still has Sedona's phone and she doesn't want to go back in. So the nice girl runs it back for her. And Liv is standing at the front of the villa and she hears this blood-curdling scream. And the group of nice girls run back. They look terrified, look like they've seen a ghost, terrified. And they were like, the look in Sedona's eyes when we gave the phone, it was the scariest thing I've ever seen. Like, we have to get out of here. We are not safe. We're terrified of this person. And Liv is like, oh, I know that look. I know exactly that look. And they're like, we're leaving now. You coming with us or not? And Liv felt like at that point, because she knew that look, she shouldn't leave her.
No,
because she was scared for her. Same as Riley. It's like, you don't want that person to hurt themselves, to hurt someone else. Like, you feel responsible for them. So she stays.
That is such a hard position to be in because you're also like endangering yourself for this other person because you don't want them to hurt themselves.
Yeah. So when she comes back in, she finds Sedona in the bushes. And she's saying, like, just kind of passed out in the bushes. She's saying her ankle is broken. She can't walk. So Liv helps her into a taxi. And once again, security has to escort her up to the room because she cannot walk. So the next day, the same thing happens. Liv is kissing on her, saying, let's pretend yesterday didn't happen. Let's do a do-over. Today is your birthday. Sedona pushes her away. And she's like, no, I even told my mom we're broken up. And you know, one of those things, it's like when you tell the parents, it's real. Because you have this silent agreement. Like, we don't tell the parents until it's anyone.
It's like, that is the way the toxic abusive relationships work. It's like, you know, you're going to get back together. So, and if you tell people, then they're just going to want you to break up with them. And so you have to keep it a secret.
Yeah. The power of the toxicity is in the secretiveness.
Yes.
Yeah. Secrecy. That's the word. So then Sedona calls her mom in front of Liv, and it's clear that she didn't actually speak to her mom because her mom's like, oh, how was your birthday? And Sedona tells her mom in front of Liv, she's like, my birthday sucked. Liv ruined it. Like, she's such a shitty girl. Like, is talking all this shit about Olivia in front of her.
Wow.
And so Liv says, while she's on the phone with her mom, why don't you tell your mom about the 2 girls you tried to fuck in front of me? Which I'm like, yes, go Liv. And so she says at that point, that's when she felt done. And because she's like, you're bringing the moms into it. Like, this is too far for me. I'm done. Liv books a flight, calls her mom, tells her mom everything, and leaves Mexico, leaves Sedona there. Sedona blocks Liv, removes all of their photos, making fans speculate that Liv did something wrong.
Okay.
And Sedona told Liv that if she brought it to socials, then she would pursue legal action. She said, if you do go to social media, I'll sue you, my baby, and your family until I know. She keeps doing this where she'll say something really dark and then be like, my sweet angel love. This is how it is in all of her texts. And that's what makes it so unnerving. I'll sue you, my baby, and your family until you can't put food on the table, and know that that's the truth. Bye, sweet, beautiful angel. I'll meet you in the next life.
So I'm going to destroy you and your family so you never have food or housing again, essentially.
But see you in the next life. Love you.
Love you forever. What?
Terrifying.
That is like psychotic on next level.
It is.
It's next level. This person, I hope, is getting serious treatment.
Yeah. So when Liv left, Sedona stayed in Mexico for 12 days. I don't know how long the trip was supposed to be, but it wasn't 12 days.
Okay.
She didn't answer anyone in her life's messages other than Liv. So this, you kind of had asked before if her family knows. They're aware. Because
they must be so worried.
So
like if the
worried.
family has any idea, they must be so worried about this person at this point. Like, you're not responding. We know something happened. We know, I'm sure her family has seen these tendencies.
Exactly. It's not going to be shocking to them. And so once again, Liv still felt responsible, and she wanted to make sure that Sedona got back to the States okay. She felt she still cared about her physical well-being. She wanted to make sure she was safe. So they didn't actually go full no contact until she got back to the States and Liv got her things because they lived together. And she said, honestly, like, we didn't end on super terrible terms. Those were her words. I was like, you didn't? Because that sounded...
It sounds horrible.
But I think she meant the actual moment
like getting your things,
of break. Yeah, it was like, okay, this didn't work, you know? And like I said, even when she's telling the stories, you can tell she still is indoctrinated by it all. Where it's like, oh, you still don't realize how traumatized you are yet, you know, which it takes time. So I totally get that. And then once they were no contact and Liv processed more, that's when she started getting angry, you know, and she's like, and she also had a lot of questions. And she's like, and I'm sure I'm never going to get the answer to those questions. So when Sedona sent a text to Liv saying that Liv was tarnishing their love and disturbing her healing journey, because essentially Liv had made videos. I don't know what the exact videos were, or if it was just her living her life single. And Sedona's like, oh, cool. So now sounds like the same thing she did to Riley, where she's texting her well after they're over and being like, this is so messed up that you're tarnishing our love and kind of reducing it to this one bad thing. And she said, you're disturbing my healing journey. And that was Liv's trigger to make this story time.
Okay.
Because she's like, your healing journey? Like, nothing happened to you. What are you talking about?
I have PTSD.
And so, and she, same thing, had threatened the suing, all of these things. And so she's like, come at me, bitch, basically, which no one had done to her so far because she did have more power, more dominance, more money, it seemed, over other people.
Yeah.
And Liv was kind of like calling her bluff.
That perceived power and influence can go a long way with people. Where it's like, you have millions of followers. And so if I say that I'm going to sue you, like, I think a lot of people would believe that and feel scared and threatened and not want to pursue any sort of action.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Is like, she was kind of calling her bluff of like, can you even do anything? You know? So
what are you going to do? I have like all of this evidence against you.
So when her story time came out, went mega viral, other girls started coming forward.
Oh no.
And
there's always more.
There's always more. So obviously first people are looking to Riley. That's when they're like, tell us your story. And she's like, I don't want to get into all of that again. At this point, it's been over for us for 2 years. I'm also healing and on this journey. So this other girl came forward, told her story. They were in just a situationship, but she mentions that same look in the eyes, the same violence, the shoving, throwing chairs, and they hung out once. They were talking online, hung out, and then Sedona had one of her kind of episodes, which does seem to be induced by alcohol. That, you know, every story that, well,
yeah.
Although,
I mean, that's the thing with BPD is like, if you are, you know, a lot of people with BPD are mixing drugs and alcohol, and that is usually when the episodes happen. That was the same experience I had with my girlfriend. I was like, she was fine when she was sober, but if she started drinking or taking any sort of pills or anything like that, it was like 0 to 100 so fast, and it was so scary every time.
Yeah. The other girl that came out, this was a really sad story, and this is the sexual assault story. So, you know, if you want to skip past this part, then skip past it. Hers happened in 2019. So this was 5 years before at the point of Liv's. They were both super young in college. Same thing. They had met online, started talking. This was before Sedona was as big as she is. This was 2019. She already had somewhat of a following and, you know, was like this hotshot basketball player, but she took her out on a date. When she brought her home, she pulled the car past her house. And you know that feeling of like, oh God. And she had already made it clear, like, we just went on one date. Like, I don't want to do anything more than like kiss you goodnight. And Sedona says, I didn't take you out for nothing. And, forced herself. That experience happened. She shared about it not long after. And again, Sedona silenced her, threatening to sue her family. And this girl, it was so heartbreaking. And I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess, yeah, I will say her name because she shared her story publicly and because she also shared with the Washington Post. Like, this is all in the Post article that came out just recently. So her name was Liz, and she made a pretty lengthy video about it, maybe 10 minutes or so, but it was really, really heartbreaking to watch. And she had just said, like, I didn't have anything. I didn't come from a lot. My family didn't have a lot. This person of power is threatening to sue me. And now I'm also feeling this like monetary thing happening. And I was scared. So even when she shared about it right away, she took it down because Sedona intimidated her. Mm-hmm. And, Liv sharing her story again empowered her to be like, okay, maybe people will also believe me now, because people didn't believe her at the time either.
It's interesting too with like, especially in queer relationships, sexual assault and domestic violence, I feel like is not always taken as seriously with the police as well.
Do you think just with women or with gay men too?
I think more with women, but with gay men as well. Like that's what everything that I've heard is like, it's not taken as seriously. And I would imagine even more so with women, because it's like, well, you're both women. Like you can't really hurt each other, right?
Yeah.
And so it's really sad to hear that like, that trend continues.
It's really, really sad. So all of that happened. The Washington Post dropped an article, which you guys can read for yourself. It was super lengthy. They talk about 4 people in it. One of them is Liv. One of them is the girl who I just mentioned. And one of them, or the 2 other girls that I just mentioned, they don't talk about Riley. I don't know if Riley didn't want to talk to them or exactly what happened there. But they also talked about another altercation she had with an ex who was after Liv, where actually at the time that it happened, both Sedona and that ex filed police reports the next morning. So there are also police reports and all of this physical evidence that was documented by the police. They both had physical damage on their body. Yeah. And
this is so sad. Honestly, it's just
really
so sad.
Really sad. It also came out that since being in these relationships, Sedona now asks people who she's dating to sign an NDA.
Of course she does.
And of course, like you said, positions it as, well, I just, people try to tarnish my name and my reputation, and they're just all trying to,
Their team's just trying to do damage control.
Exactly. So like I mentioned, they created a petition. 200,000 people signed it. TCU, which is the school she was at, did nothing. She kept playing for them. There have been 0 repercussions.
Yeah.
It's like, great, you changed the weight room, but like, what about this? Which honestly,
that's what I'm saying.
I feel like if that was a dude though, they would have done something.
That's what I'm saying, is that like, it's not taken as seriously in queer female relationships, like domestic violence and sexual assault. And it's like, if there was a man involved, it would have been taken a lot more seriously.
Yeah. It also would have been more mainstream. Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot, even though I said this did go mainstream, obviously Washington Post is mainstream, but it's like,
imagine if this was like one of the top college basketball stars that was a guy.
It would be all over. Yeah. And it's just like, well, she's a girl. And it's like, yeah, she is. She's also, you looked it up. Wasn't she like 250, 6'7"? She's
millions of followers.
So she has power physically, on a social level. She's powerful, just as powerful, arguably, as a man. So, and it still is like, whatever, girls are just having little lesbian lover spats. And it's like, she's going to kill someone, like it's one of those things that needs to be listened to. So it has, like I said, she's denied everything. She said none of these things have happened. Her team, her lawyers always denied it.
And no one's pressed charges or anything against her, I don't think.
No, so that one with the police report, they both ended up dropping it. Like that was kind of the farthest that it had ever gone, because most people were too intimidated to even keep their post up on social media, let alone press charges. And there's also the statute of limitations with charges. And this is the thing with the system and victims. It's like, well, they will question you if you come in and be like, well, why didn't you call the police if it was so bad, if you were so scared? Why didn't you do this, do that? You know, it's like, if you don't do things the exact way that they want you to, then they'll
And even then, if
doubt
you're not,
you.
like you said, the perfect victim on top of that,
yeah,
it can, so many of these folks go through so many challenges once they do go into the legal system.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. She's lost a lot of followers. That petition happened. She didn't get drafted to the WNBA, so that feels like the biggest sort of repercussion she's had so far.
But she's still playing pro basketball.
She's still playing pro basketball.
Overseas.
She's still dating, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And since then, I think it was just last month, she went on a podcast and said, actually, I've been diagnosed with bipolar 2, which is obviously, it's great to destigmatize mental illness and all these things. But a lot of people were kind of speculating, like, you're just sharing this to garner sympathy. It just didn't feel, they're like,
It's great to know that. But my hope is that you're, getting help for, the mental health challenges that you do have, because they're very serious and they're impacting a lot of people.
And it's also going to impact her life if she does do something to the point of being incarcerated, like, that's for your own safety. Don't you want to get that managed, So it is a super sad story. And like I said, as far as kind of like the reception on the other side, a lot of people had a ton of sympathy, empathy for all of the girls, but really it wasn't until Liv's story went mega viral. Initially, there was a lot of doubt cast on other victims who came forward before. And then once it felt more legitimatized by Liv, then people started being very sympathetic towards everyone. But, that was definitely disheartening, I think, to see as well.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
I don't even know what to say. It's a really, really sad story.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, our community is severely impacted by domestic violence. People in same-sex relationships, we see high rates of domestic violence. And so it's really sad to hear about this story and see her wield her power and use control and manipulation tactics to hurt these women. And I honestly just hope that she gets the help that she needs, because it's really sad.
I know. And even it's like, go back to how you started, which was preaching gender equality, and like that, you started on such a positive high note. Yeah. You can use that power for good. Go back there. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like this episode is obviously intense, heavy. It feels weird to do a Who's the Problem after this. So what if instead we just give one, as two people who have been in abusive relationships, what is one piece of advice or encouragement you would give to somebody if they're in one or think they might be in one, if they're getting through it?
I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to go somewhere else, which is, so when I was in my relationship that was abusive, it was more like emotionally, and then it turned more physical, like at the very end. I had told friends along the way, but I wasn't ready to leave yet. Like I had tried to leave a couple of times. And my experience, in my own experience, but also watching other people go through this, is that like friends, they'll give you like one chance to leave. And if you don't take that opportunity, they kind of write you off and they stop supporting you as a friend. And that just leaves you more and more isolated. And eventually you do get to that point. Maybe it's the second time you want to leave or the third time you try to leave, but eventually you will get that power to want to leave. And if all of your friends have like left you, it makes it even harder because you're now more and more isolated. You're doing this all on your own. So for me, my biggest takeaway from it was like, when people are going through it, like give them that sympathy and the empathy as they're going through it, like, and know that they'll get there on their own time. So don't write them off. Like stay friends with them. Like be a support system
Definitely
for them.
don't get mad at them if they don't leave, or if they leave and then go back.
Exactly.
You're just
it's a
isolating them
really
more.
hard situation to actually get up the courage and power to leave and change your life. And so for me, it's like a real friend in the end will allow that person to get there on their own time. It doesn't mean you won't say like, hey, you deserve better, or like support them in other ways. But you like, I don't know, if I could say anything, it's just like, stay friends with them. If you need to have like space from them, that's okay, but still be there, check in and support and like help them if they need the help in the end.
Right.
And don't get discouraged if they don't leave immediately.
Yeah, that's really, really good. I think that's perfect. It's a perfect place to end. And it is so important, because you might, if you've never gone through it, then it's like, how can you know what it's like? It is so confusing from the outside to be like, but why would you put up with that? And, you know, you literally get brainwashed. It's, people talk about it the same way as being in a cult. It's a 1-to-1 cult. Your brain changes.
Yeah.
It's been so manipulated and changed in this person's hands. And so it's like, have grace and patience with that person.
They will get
so
there
that they
on their
can
own.
get out, you know, because the more they feel isolated, the harder it will be to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we love you guys.
We love you. That was heavy.
It was heavy. Take a deep breath.
We'll see you next week.
Whew. Yes, we'll see you next week.